Have any of you ever stepped into a hectic ER and seen white coats and doctors running all over the place? And you're just sitting there with a broken bone trying to get it fixed. And out of the corner of your eye comes a person in scrubs, doesn't have a white coat, doesn't have anything. And this person says that they're going to be your doctor. And you think at first, well, why don't you have a white coat? But in reality, this person is most likely a physician assistant. A physician assistant is basically an assistant to a doctor. It's self-explanatory. The only real difference between the two is the amount of training, the salary, and the time that they work. So in this short speech, I am going to emphasize the three main points of how to become a PA, the difference between physician assistants and medical doctors, and why hospitals are starting to like physician assistants more than medical doctors. So firstly, to become a medical doctor, you usually need a bachelor's degree, but it's not always necessary. You need about 8 to 10 prerequisite classes to get into graduate school, and these classes include biology, chemistry, organic chemistry, and anatomy, classes like that. And then to get into PA school, you would need to maintain about a 3.5 GPA and collect 2,000 hours of patient care experience. Now that can range from anything from being a certified nurse assistant to becoming a medical scribe and taking notes for a doctor. And when in PA school, the biggest difference is the amount of time. To become an MD, you need 4 years of medical school and a minimum of a 3-year residency on top of that. While becoming a PA, you only need 2 to 3 years of schooling, and then you can go straight into the field. It's a very different track for both of them because PAs are only really well known in the US because of the healthcare shortage that is going on right now. That's why the job is growing as fast as it is, while medical doctors are more internationally recognized. Another difference between PAs and MDs is the pay. Medical doctors average about $200,000 to $300,000 in salary per year, making them the best paid job in America. PAs, on the other hand, average about $100,000 per year, which is still top 5 in the US. And another fact about the difference between these two jobs is that physician assistants can do about 85% of the work that physicians can, meaning that with the shorter time period that they're in school, they still learn 85% of the material that medical doctors do, which makes a big impact on the patient care and how quickly you can get an appointment. Another big difference about PAs and MDs is the amount of debt that students will go into. Because PA students are in graduate school, they're only in there for about 2 to 3 years, they obviously will have less debt. And this averages out to be around $71,369 over the course of the program. Meanwhile, medical students accrue $207,866 of debt. That is a massive number, and it will take much longer to pay off that debt for someone starting at $200,000 to pay off $200,000 in debt compared to someone starting off at $100,000 only paying off $70,000 in debt. And lastly, hospitals are starting to like PAs more simply for the fact that they don't have to pay them as much, they can do the same amount of work, and they're just generally cheaper. I mean, if you're a hospital, why would you want to pay a doctor $300,000 when you can pay someone a third of that to do the exact same job? So, I want to leave you with, physician assistants are starting to grow very rapidly in the United States because of the healthcare shortage, because of the baby boomers getting older. So, because physician assistants are growing, I believe that it is one of the best careers to go into, and that's what I am planning on doing with my life. Thank you.